survive every fight. All I will live, yeah. To every human being who face a struggle. Say the bad times make good times feel good. I don't want to make your office a piece. Rifle shot no nice in your ears strong. Flesh a drop and I never bully beef. But then the things we go through make we stronger. We never want to run from police. But the address where me come from make me right done wrong. Just to say the least. Been fighting for all of my life. Fighting so hard to survive. I put a smile on my face, but inside is a ocean of tears. Me a cry. Been fighting for all of my life. Oh. Tribe Nation. Patriots. Then I survive every fight. All I will live, yeah. To every human being who face a struggle. Now the bad times make good times feel good. I don't want to make your office a piece. Rifle shot no nice in your ears strong. Flesh a drop and I never bully beef. But then the things we go through make we stronger. We never want to run from police. But the address where me come from make me right done wrong. Just to say the least. Been fighting for all of my life. Fighting so hard to survive. I put a smile on my face, but inside is a ocean of tears. Me a cry. Been fighting for all of my life. Fighting so hard to survive. I put a smile on my face, but inside is a ocean of tears. Me a cry. I came from a place where I could have get caught up many times. So much I go on the outside, but I stay firm in my mind. I know for the dogs, them not there. I'm from a place where you not peer pressure. Babies are having babies. Families that suffer. Still we never switch for the fast cash. Have my soul member vanity in all that. Look work on the bus, never call back. Table turn now, look who I call shots. It up for you, send up for weekend, the better dog. After me never done the wrong, the wings forget about. But them a go on like some my life never hard. Still you protect the good for your fighting for all of my life. Fighting so hard to survive. I put a smile on my face, but inside is a ocean of tears. Me a cry. Been fighting for all of my life. Fighting so hard to survive. Might see a smile on my face, but inside is a ocean of tears. Me a cry. The amount of sacrifice me make can never illuminati. Remember days that me could not even afford a party. You think I know me want to put a million on me granny and for the days when she give me when me know she know have it. So we have to make sure everybody good alright. Mike Tyson no fight, them a fight, them a fight. Been fighting for all of my life. Fighting so hard to survive. Me put a smile on my face, but inside is a ocean of tears. Me a cry.
Sections of West Kingston remain tense following last night's
the pain. All the people that go truth is in not easy as it. Wrong and then wrong truth music. One go. She never want to be a prostitute. No, she never wants so much shoot. But the knees and one thing in her eyes. She never want to use the gun around the youth. But don't give it time is a big dispute. And the pressure of life is high. When the system fails, and everyone will love betray us. And if you don't believe me, come to see you. What a house, and they are humans. So when the system fails, another ones will love betray us. And if you don't believe me, look at Rima, the rose. Look at the people of the jungle, tears fly, and my heart I still cry for my nation.
Yeah, with the fix, Michelle G. Good evening, good night, good morning, wherever you are in the world. You know, this song by Dahvid Magnum is called Betrayal. Hi, everybody on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Get with the fix, Blaze, Mighty Mix, Majestic, Coffee, Metric Radio. Yeah, this song, Betrayal, this song is not new. This is not a new Dahvid Magnum, but Dahvid is on a campaign right now. Dahvid's like fed up. fed up of what's happening in the world with women, kids. It's just a lot going on. And Dahvid is basically saying to her, fellow Jamaicans, like basically like, where is all the energy for showing and showcasing what's happening around the world when other things happen in other places? You know, everybody jump up and post those things. But she wants to know, what are the Jamaicans doing now that all of this stuff is happening in Jamaica? And I'm not mad at her. I am definitely not mad at W Magnum at this point. I see Christopher Martin, you know, all of the artists are now coming out and talking about the different things that's happening in Jamaica right now. All of this stuff, it has to be mentally draining to the families that are experiencing all of these loss, like all of these loss. You know, we're not off of Adriana Young. We're definitely not done with that situation. We're just waiting to see what's happening in regards to Adriana Young. The autopsy that's being done here in the US. You know, shout out to all of the Jamaican artists that took part in sharing some information in regards to that. You know, it's just a lot going on. And of course, May is National Mental Health Awareness Month. And of course, my first interview tonight, we'll be getting into mental health. You know, a lot of times in the Caribbean, that is not something that we want to talk about. In the Caribbean, people stay far away from mental health, from anxiety, depression, schizophrenia, all of these things. But tonight we are having a solid conversation in regards to that. Y'all already know around here I do all kinds of things, and I love to learn things and share information when it comes to especially mental health, because again, in the Caribbean, we don't do it. We don't do it enough. We don't do it enough. So my guest will be on the live in a little bit. I'm Michelleg G. This is brand new Sparkle Bands. This song is called Hallelujah.
Okay, you bless my life, so I say hallelujah. Been through so much things and don't know how. You guide my hands to write down all them junior. Negativity I won't allow. Love been in my life and that was always true. Cause thanks to you I'm still above the ground. You guide my hands to write down all them junior. Negativity we don't grow. Oh no, my family you don't know the harder. Humble and own my quarters. No out and it's my have some interviews and some performance. Used to run with real piranhas and kick back on the corners. But nowadays me kick back with my books in my pajamas. To each his own with drama. Look peace and keep it calmer. Right now me rather free and out to be a better father. Make my best and get my rest. I make some steamed fish and cassava. Got to how it a run in a yard, you eat no normal. No, touch just over life, cause time to limit it. Seek and you shall find it, it's fine. It's fine, that you can just decide that life you live on us. For me, I'd rather peace of mind. Yeah. You bless my life, so I say hallelujah. Been through so much things and don't know how. You guide my hands to write down all them junior. Negativity I won't allow. Love been in my life and that was always true. Cause thanks to you I'm still above the ground. You guide my hands to write down all them junior. Dance. Oh, dance how sweet. When I got some job that I'm here on yellow. I'm here for yellow. Oh, the gas and all the tank pull up. Don't step on the wrong foot pull up. No muss and all the bang go pull up. Oh, my tally on my rank. Dance all this, dance all so. 14 Paris, but I just want to. No skin there, but I just want crowd. Can't rock no if it just one pound. Ever original.
This is brand new Bugle featuring Bishop Escobar.
The real and the best man, Valentine, woman, I got dance all mean everything. Dance all the way everything. When dance all there, don't feel swim there. Yard man there, dance all there. Oh, dance all sweet. When I got some job that, I'll be around yellow. I'm here for yalla. Yeah, she want pipe. 9-inch, 10-inch, eggplant, no banana we ripe. Pipe. Love it when you whine and you sit down on it. Tell time, you know you're good. Every chicken head I get clucking at the coop. Every hen start while when you rooster ash. Cast iron, PVC, brass, concrete, stainless steel. Any pipe you want, make can get. All you have to do is take a steal. She want pipe.
Cyclone. That song is called Pipe. Lord of mercy, Cyclone. Lord have mercy.
Pipe.
What about a Jamaican man that just, I don't know, especially them fast places, man, oh my God, like, whatever you tell me to do, I'm
Sure,
doing.
me like good girls, we love badness. Me like independent, bad. Drive by anytime, loving madness. Me like night party. Me just fuck a girl from Brooklyn. Stush thing, good body, good skin. One nose push me. Love when me step in my beast like push milk. Mama hope you no mix up like munchy. Alright, boom flip, boom. Good push with girl in my car. I say pull zip. New lads girl in my dance and I use spill flat.
There's something about a Jamaican man that just,
And they say Chronic Law only sing dark songs. They say Chronic Law only sing dark songs. This is Chronic Law and CJ the Chemist. It's called New York Girls. Y'all like?
I don't know, especially them fast places, man, oh my God, like, whatever you tell me to do, I'm
Sure,
doing.
me like good girls, we love badness. Me like independent, bad. Drive by anytime, loving madness. Me like night party. Me just fuck a girl from Brooklyn. Stush thing, good body, good skin. One nose push me. Love when me step in my beast like push milk. Mama hope you no mix up like munchy. Alright, boom flip, boom. Good push with girl in my car. I say pull zip. New lads girl in my dance and I use spill flat push. Whatever you want, on a toe skill. 90 circle queens. Got speed shirt on, purple me jeans. Some boys slow like turtle for real. Jump on a hurdle, she mean. Buck a girl us outside, she say, more Louis V. Tuck away, girl, them no know nothing cheap. On the merit dark, load up a jeep. No police, no come in when you hear about way. Just buck a girl from Bronx. Mount Vernon, and she a get on, she about murder. Show me she thick, but she have a friend firmer. Grow with the burn and a learner. But buck a girl up a gun in and she a tell me she has got Merca. And no green card me a search for. Me just have one buck a girl in my place and a bag of darkness like two for the first block.
Yeah, now ring them. I'm on a left. You know me. What a meds.
There's only one alkaline, right? My choice.
The bread that we matter to me the most. Big chunk of food is a full meal course. Millionaire status in a foreign they close. How money am I choice? Run the short cash and we are not a joke. 17 if somebody they want smoke. Office station count their control. How money am I choice?
Tell me I defend you more than anything. The banking overflow at on a car roll for Franklin. Remember when every silver that you said up in the thing. I know this tax my hand for rich talent not building. Punk, no work with the script, me do more on a stunt, get confront to make your jiggy like rent and pass of the month, catch up funds, everything have a price and me send enough funds. Rich young, do or die, the work always I get done. Not about no crumbs. The bread that we matter to me the most. Big chunk of food is a full meal course. Millionaire status in a foreign they close. How money am I choice? Run the short cash and we are not a joke. 17 if somebody they want smoke. Office station count their control. How money am I choice?
But true checks, ruthless Steve figures on my choose. Yes, a little change we spend and up with you on your crooked. Pioneer the real deal, we know what we do best. As a wine gear money pinned up with two books. Can't take it from another devil, how much you have to lose bet. Hundreds of K in a minute and every move. Sweat no in and no hanky panky was step on a loose flex. Currency make some dudes vex. Living legend, go on the badness, then you go run up in a dead end. A long time we a beat fight and a triumph for them they went. Down to the pass and get him off and can't shot the reverend. Drive bloods, we leave both. See how my preference from a barrett, then fast forward. I make them some amount of money, man, I make them still cheap for me. And rich in a real life, but you know, and I pretend.
Yo,
feeling a summer vibe? Yo, Tuesday, how you feeling a summer vibes?
What up?
Family gonna come on. We out till sunrise. Enough girl on the party. But me a roll with me shanty. Me see couple bad girl a go naughty. Papa in the anchor party, yeah, and girl a one bad. Ask see the one way one bag. DJ pull it out, them girl a one brag. Take man to a back where you call that. Me and my friend them rich broke fall back. We say I just party for the summer, yeah. We say I just party for the summer, yeah. For the summer, yeah. Party I don't know, for the summer, yeah. Everywhere we are go, for the summer, yeah. I just party for the summer, yeah.
I don't know about anybody else, but I just want to say I don't know what's happening with the weather outside. It's cold outside. It's like maybe 40 something degrees outside in New Jersey. I'm not sure what is happening with the weather, but you know, it's supposed to be summer at this point, but it's still winter outside. So, yeah, with the fix, my guest is on the live. Hello, good evening. Do you hear me? Oh, she can't hear me. Hold on, y'all. Hold on.
Party for the summer, yeah. We feel like it's a real vibe. Summertime, everyone now we are rejoice. Big stone black party, we rejoice.
Yeah. It's a real vibe. Good evening, good evening, good evening.
Good evening.
Do you hear me now? Do you hear me now?
I can hear you clearly.
I am good. I am glad. So here on Get With The Fix, as I told you guys, it is National Mental Health Month. And around here, y'all know I do all kinds of conversations, and this is definitely tonight in regards to mental health. This young lady, her book is called My Secret Affair with Anxiety Disorder. For those of you who have maybe don't even know you have anxiety, have not been diagnosed, this young lady, we're going to have a good conversation tonight. But how did I get to her? I think her husband reached out to me and said basically that, you know, he saw my platform and he wanted for me to talk to his wife. And I was like, okay, sure, let's do it. So here she is. Is your name Antoinette or Annienots?
Yeah. It's Antoinette.
Mm-hmm. Antoinette. Right.
Yeah.
My friend's name is Antoinette. So we right here. We
connecting.
Yes, definitely. So how are you doing? How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. I'm happy to be here, to be able to tell my story and to talk to your audience tonight from wherever you guys are.
Definitely. So we are streaming live on Instagram. You're on Instagram Live. You're on Facebook. You're on YouTube. You're on 6 other radio stations and a TV station right now at this point. Yeah, having this conversation. So your name says Professor Annie Thompson. I like the professor part, right? Because I'm one too. You know?
Right.
I'm one too. So tonight we're definitely going to have a great conversation. But your book is called My Secret Affair with Anxiety Disorder. Tell me why that name?
I chose that topic because I know it would be catchy, right? So I know that as soon as people see My Secret Affair, they're gonna go, wait, what?
What's this about?
But really and truly, I did have a secret affair with this disorder for the greater part of my 20s and early into my 30s. I had literally a secret affair. It's a secret affair because no one knew about it, right? So it really was a secret affair with this disorder trapped inside the mind. So that's how the name of the book came about.
Okay. So when did you find out that you have anxiety?
So for the greater part, almost all through my 20s, you know, I had issues with like nervousness, like insomnia. I mean, just like every day it would be something else, right? And I just chalked it up to being an overachiever. Maybe I'm tired. But as the years went by, I realized I was becoming like debilitated, right?
Wow.
I would go from not going to the gym 1 day a week to not going 3 days a week. I would go from not having friends over 1 day a week to not having friends over at all, to making excuses as to why I didn't want to be around people. And that's when I said, you know what, I'm going to delve into the research to see what all these symptoms mean and then go from there. So I started researching, and then started talking to people. And I said, you know what? I'm not getting anywhere. Let me go to the doctor. You know, my medical doctor is a close family friend. So when I went to talk to him, he said, wow, you know what? This is classic anxiety, and it's classic for women your age and for women who are overachievers like yourself, right? Because everybody to some degree has a form of anxiety. Everyone, right? But it's whether or not you can have anxiety and not have anxiety disorder. So having the disorder means you have a persistent fear every day. Every single day you wake up. When it's time to go to work, that knot sits in your stomach. When it's time to do whatever, that knot sits in your stomach, you know? So through him, I got my diagnosis, right? And even with the diagnosis, I still kept it a secret because I decided, no, this is such a shameful disorder. Why would I want to tell my family? I'm strong. I'm the person who's 50 million degrees later, right? And successful in my own rights, right? So why would I want to be labeled as someone who is anxious or someone who has anxiety? So I kept it a secret even after the diagnosis for years.
Wow. Now you mentioned anxiety and anxiety disorder, right? Because we want people to understand that there's two different things, right? Anxiety is like something happens and you just have an anxious attack or whatever.
Yes.
You can have an
So
anxious attack.
Anything. It could be anything. Yeah.
Right. So let's make sure that we're differentiating the two. So an anxiety disorder is something that you're actually diagnosed with.
And it's ongoing.
It just doesn't stop like that, right? I remember, and in putting this interview today together, I remember having my own anxiety attack. My son was probably about 7 or 8 years old, right?
Right.
And he was in Florida. My mom took him to Florida to my family, who I trust and everything. And then she was coming back and she left him behind. And I knew that he was staying, right? But because of my own experiences as a child living with people, I thought I was having a heart attack. So I literally had to be taken from work in an ambulance to the hospital. And I had an anxiety attack because of whatever trauma that I experienced in my childhood. Now I'm like, oh my God, my son is here and something is going to happen to him. So I want people to understand that there's two different prospects when it comes to anxiety. There's anxiety and anxiety attack, and then there's the disorder. Okay, so please don't get it confused. Do not get it confused. Now, you mentioned, because a lot of times, especially in our Caribbean communities, right? We often don't tell people what's going on with us because of the stigma that may come with that, right?
That's right.
Who did you decided that I am going to put my trust in this particular person and let them know what is happening with me?
So I have a close-knit circle of friends that I can trust and talk to. But I still never, I would say like I have some anxious moments or I feel like I have anxiety now, but I never would really delve deeply into how bad it was. Like, nobody knew how bad it was, like to the point where I would like get home from work. It was a vicious cycle. Get home from work, get in the driveway, get in my house. And I'm a nurse also. So I work 12-hour shifts. So I get home, I need wine. That day was too long. I need some wine. Drink wine. So you go from drinking one glass to 2 glasses to, before you know it, you're drinking a bottle of wine a day just to calm your nerves, right? So I'm like, this is getting worse. I'm not telling anyone about this, right? But it got to a point where after I had my daughter, I realized as she was getting into the adolescent years that she was showcasing some symptoms of an anxiety herself. And I said,
Wow.
wait a minute. And I know that there's a genetic component to the disease. So I understand
We're definitely
that.
going to get into that. We're definitely getting into that.
I understand that was what was happening. So I said, no, this is my only child. I'm going to wage war against this disorder. And that's when I literally started telling anyone who would listen, I have anxiety. I have anxiety. Oh, how are you? I have anxiety. Oh, the person at the gym, the person at the supermarket, PTA,
everybody
that would listen was going to hear it. I have anxiety and you're going to hear about it, right? And then what I figured was the more I told people, the more I realized people would tell me. Yeah, and they're like, so am I. I'm suffering from the disease too. I've suffered for years. How did you get to this point where you're vocal, So that's how my discovery to truth or living in my truth started.
Okay. So Moni Love Forever has a question. She says, how do you know when to seek medical advice?
When it gets to the point where you cannot go to work anymore, right? When it gets to the point where you don't want to get out of bed anymore, right? Or when it gets to the point where you're drinking so much in excess that you're drinking like a bottle of wine a day. That's when that's when you need to seek help.
Okay.
Right.
So basically you wrote this book, and I have a feeling that, oftentimes when we put pen to paper, it's because we're trying to be relieved of something that we're dealing with, right? It's a way to say, I'm going to combat this situation. You're not going to defeat me. I'm going to defeat you. Yes. Right. And I have a feeling that that's probably one of the reasons why you wrote this book. Am I true?
Yes, you're right. I do a lot of community work in and around the Philadelphia area with the kids. Okay. I do a lot of community service, and I also teach. So I would find, like, as the years went by, like more and more of my students would be suffering from anxiety. More and more of the children that I would mentor would be suffering from anxiety. And I'm like, oh God, I don't want my story out there because I'm strong, and I don't want anyone to know that I'm not as strong as they think I am. But I'm gonna have to find a way to tell the story. And that's when I decided to tell the story, because I saw that the kids were getting younger and younger and younger who were suffering. And that's when I decided to tell the story.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that, right? Because in teaching college, I teach about maybe 100 or so students per semester, right?
Yes.
And every semester I get maybe about 20 or 25 students who I'm constantly in contact with, making sure they're okay. Having a lot of conversations around being anxious all the time in class. Right. They're experiencing their own disorders and that type of stuff, right? So as a college professor, a lot of times people don't understand that you have to be understanding of what folks are going through and to provide support. Right. Who are the people that, made you feel comfortable enough to say, look, I need help and I need somebody to help me?
I feel like it was my daughter for the most part.
Okay.
I feel like it was my daughter. That's where the idea to seek help came from, because I didn't want to see her go through that cycle.
Yeah.
Right. So that I feel like that's how I came to start trying to seek help. Plus, I didn't want to feel the way I was feeling anymore. Right. I didn't want to feel that it drains you. It drains your energy. It just drains your day. Right. It takes on a whole persona, this disorder, right? So, and that's one of the reasons why people are afraid to tell anyone about it. It drains you so much of your energy. And once you let it go, the freedom is absolutely amazing.
Definitely. Now, in the beginning, you mentioned about the genetics part of anxiety, right? And I think a lot of people don't know and understand that anxiety disorders, a lot of the disorders that are out here are definitely something that is genetic. And a lot of times, especially in the Caribbean community, right? We don't know our people's history, right? We have no idea nothing biologically going wrong with our families, our mothers, our dads, our aunts, our uncles. All we know is somebody had high blood pressure, right? The one thing, or cancer. Those are the things that we are fully aware of, but nobody, a lot of times, no one in the Caribbean community, in our families, will come to us and say, you know, I've been diagnosed with schizophrenia.
No, not
I've
at all.
been diagnosed with depression. I've been diagnosed with all of these things. What is it that you want to say to our community when it comes to the genetic aspects of this disorder?
Okay, so first, I want to say, let them know that there is a genetic component to it, right? This is not something you brought on yourself, right? Of course, life stressors can cause you to, you know what I mean, feel worse, right? And you can be predisposed to a condition, but without the life stressors, you don't have that, you know, point where it starts affecting you. Just like a person can be predisposed to schizophrenia, but if they don't have that psychotic break from like a life event happening, then usually they're okay, even though they're genetically predisposed. So that's the first thing I want to say. So it does have a genetic component to it. And I want them to know that it's okay. It's okay. I promise you, the more you tell people, the more you will hear, oh, I have that too. And you'll see that a lot of behaviors that people showcase, like anger, you ever see being around some people and they're just miserable, and you're like, why is this lady so miserable every single day? Or why is this man so miserable a portion of that could be related to anxiety. They're anxious. They don't want to be around people. They don't want to be at work. They don't want, you know what I mean? So it's okay. It's okay.
Definitely.
You shouldn't be ashamed of something you didn't cause on yourself.
Definitely,
right? And my dad, and trust me, I understand, because my dad's a little Rastafarian man who does not believe in any such thing as anxiety. You know what? His exact word was a foolishness that. So like, just like so many other Caribbean parents, they don't believe in like mental health stuff, right?
Right.
But if more of us would seek out mental health help, we would be better parents. We would be better siblings. We would be better, you know, daughters, better friends, if you get mental health help.
Yeah, definitely. I like that. I definitely like that. Moni has another question. She said, how did you help your daughter with her anxiety?
So in the book, I talked about how, like, once I saw that she was spiraling to the point where she's like, I don't want to go to school. My friends are not my friends anymore, you know? So I started like just spending more one-on-one time with her, you know, and helping her understand, like, these feelings that you're having, they're normal. And a lot of kids your age are having the same feelings, right? So I got her to understand that portion of it, but I would spend more time talking to her, listening to her. And it was through helping her also that I realized, oh my God, I have someone as friendly and outgoing as me has social anxiety. I realized that through being around her, talking to her and stuff, that I had social anxiety also. And if anyone that knows me knows I'm the most outgoing, friendliest, talkative person you'll ever meet, right?
Wow.
Be it in the classroom, be it at work, be it around friends. I'm talkative. I'm always talkative. So that social portion of it, right, I realized after I started helping her. But to help her, I just spend more time with her, spend more time talking to her. Listen to your children. Listen to your children. They'll tell you, now she tells me too much, but like, listen to your kids. They'll tell you stuff that they won't tell anyone else. Form that bond with them so that if they should feel down in the dumps, they can come and talk to you and you can talk them through it. And then I started, like, the things that she feared, I would say, no, you know what? Let's do that today. Oh, you're afraid of going over that bridge? Let's go over that bridge today. Oh, you're afraid of doing that? Let's do that today. And bit by bit, she got better.
She got better. Yeah. Now, we're talking a lot about your daughter, but you're also married, right?
Yes.
How did this affect, or did it not affect, your relationship with your husband? Like, how did he start to deal with all of this?
So he's my fiance, who likes to call himself my husband.
He is. Don't say he's your husband. He's your husband.
Yeah. Yes, but it didn't. He's one of the nicest, most like loving person you'll ever meet. So he's understanding, even when I'm like, no, don't understand her. She's doing this. He's understanding, so nothing bothers him, right? And he's a listener, so he'll listen and, you know, try to talk you through it or whatever. So he's good that way. So it didn't really, even when I'm in like my darkest moments, he's like, you'll be okay, babe. You'll be okay. Don't worry about it, you know? But it's something that you definitely have to work through on your own.
Yeah, because you know, when I was looking up some information today, they were saying that a lot of relationships don't last through mental health. A lot of relationships don't last because people cannot or don't know how to deal with someone who is
to deal with it. Yeah.
And all of those things. So I want to say kudos and shout out to him because I'm telling you, that man was on my phone like wide on night.
That's how he is. That's how he is. But you know what, too? And I think a lot of relationships don't last through anxiety because people don't talk about it.
Yes.
Again, people are even afraid to talk to their spouses about it. People are afraid to talk to their children about it, you know? And like I said, I have a close-knit circle of friends. And even they, when they really found out how bad it was, they were like, oh my God, you were going through this? They knew there were times when they wouldn't hear from me because I would just shut down. Like, I just don't want to deal with anyone. I don't want to talk to anyone. But they never knew exactly why. So now that a lot of them are reading the book, they're like, oh, this really makes sense. No, this really makes sense. So you have to talk about it.
You have one of your friends on the Instagram live here, Charlene, and she said basically that, you know, you didn't tell her. And reading the book is when she found out a lot of what you were dealing with.
Yep.
You know, I feel, you know, and I say this all the time, like, again, there's this stigma involved with Caribbean folks when we have to tell people something is wrong with us, right? And we often forget that while we are afraid to tell people that something is wrong with us, we are exhibiting bad behavior to these people, right? We're treating people badly. We're miserable all the time. We're not having conversations. We are avoiding things. We disappear, you know, we isolate ourselves and all of that because we don't want to have those hard conversations with our friends and families. So go ahead.
And I will tell you, isolation becomes a major part of what happens. Most people with mental health disorders will start isolating themselves as a first line way to treat the disorder. Before they even seek help, you'll start saying, I haven't seen so-and-so in this amount of time, right? So that's what they start doing. They start isolating themselves. And Caribbean people, we are such prideful people, right? We're so prideful. We don't want anyone to see any form of weakness in us. And most Caribbean people see mental health and mental health issues as it relates to them as being a weakness.
Yeah. It's like you're a mad person. It's like you're a mad
person.
When a lot of these diagnoses don't make you a mad person. It just makes you somebody that's different and just needs some extra help in calming yourself or whatever the case may be. Are you did you start taking any medications? Because you know that's always one of the conversations, especially with younger people, right? I work for the state, and a lot of times children are put on medications for these disorders, and a lot of things go left and right and all kinds of things with them. Did you start taking any medication, and what is your speech, for lack of a better word, in regards to using medication?
Okay, so let me tell people first, my route to treatment does not have to be your story, right?
Definitely.
You're gonna have your own story, right? And I don't know what your life stresses are, and I don't know what's going on in your life, right? But I will advise anyone, whatever it takes to get you over the hump, do it. I fought that medication thing for a long time. And then finally I said, you know what? I'm going to try to take something like a low dose medicine, drugs belonging to a class called SSRI, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, are the drugs that they use normally for anxiety and depression. So my doctor put me on a low dose of it. And over time, I'm like, no, I don't want to do it anymore. But that does not have to be your story.
Right.
Get your own story, build your own story, right? So I did the low dose medicine for a while, but I will tell you one thing. I still would not fly. I still would not go anywhere where, you know, I'm enclosed, because sometimes anxiety leads to you being claustrophobic.
Right.
So I wouldn't fly. And I'm a person, everyone that knows me knows I travel constantly, right? So once I saw that it became like 6 years and I hadn't gotten on the plane, I said, I got to do something. My doctor prescribed me a low dose, what they call benzodiazepine. It's like in the class, like Xanax and stuff like that.
Yes.
And he said, break it in half and then take it. And I broke it in half. And something about knowing that I had that medicine in my bag just goes to show you how the brain works. I was fine. Didn't even need the medicine. I was fine.
Wow.
Just knowing that I had it, if I needed it, made me okay. So my story doesn't have to be your story. And whatever it takes to get you over that hump, do it. And I'm going to tell you, it's crazy how, like, I go around and I tell a lot of people that, you know, did you get my book? It talks about anxiety or whatever. And yesterday, as I'm leaving work, I kid you not, someone that I see every day, and of course I'm not going to call the lady's name on here, but I just stopped and started talking to her and said, did you get my book? And she said, no, I didn't know you wrote a book. What is it about? And I started telling her, and she like broke down in tears and started telling me her story. And I see this woman all the time, never knew she was going through this. She told me her son is going through the same thing. He won't get out of bed. His anxiety is just through the roof. She's going through it, and she's asking me, what do I do? And I said, first, he needs to seek help, and you need to seek help too, right?
Yeah.
And formulate your own plan of action. You sit with your doctor, you talk with your doctor. But the biggest thing that people don't realize is that having knowledge is important. Just don't go to your doctor, and because your doctor said, get on that med, you get on it. You do your own research and figure out like what's the best, you know, route of treatment for you. Because it might not be Western medicine. It might be something like taking and in my book, I talk about all the natural alternatives that you can use, like ashwagandha, and it does the same job. You take ashwagandha, it calms you, right? In varying dosage. So like you just work your way up. And that's a natural supplement that you can get at GNC, Walmart, wherever. And it does the same thing. Yeah, it does the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's definitely one of the natural, for lack of a better word, medication or vitamins or whatever you want to call it, that I see people pushing. People are pushing that a lot lately. They're definitely pushing it a lot lately. And oftentimes folks don't know why they're taking these things, right? So in your book, you explain the different natural medicines and all of that kind of stuff that that people can take. And I want to say, you know, thank you for doing that, because again, a lot of times you say to somebody, oh, take this, or take castor oil, or take this, or you go to the doctor and you're telling them what you're taking, and they're like, why are you taking that for? Like, that's not doing anything, right? Because the other part of this, when it comes to medication, right, and working where I work, we're told that these psychiatrists only get paid when you use these medications. When they write those scripts, that's when they get paid. So at the end of the day, while the medication is working, if it's something like Antoinette said, if it's something that you feel that it's not for you, speak to a health, what do you call those folks? The bush people.
A naturopathic doctor.
A naturopathic doctor. Speak to someone in that aspect to find out what other remedies you can use to help you with this disorder. Because folks, it's a disorder. It's things that happen to you, and a lot of us may have it, but because we wouldn't go to the doctor and say, oh yeah, I'm experiencing this symptom, that symptom, that symptom. The doctor's like, are you okay? You're like, yeah, I'm good. What are you talking about?
I'm fine. Right. And that's what you find that like a lot of people do. And let me first say, like, let's talk about men having the disorder. Because,
please. That was going to be my next thing. Talk about it.
Because a lot of men suffer from anxiety, but they will never tell you, right? Because again, it comes across as a sign of weakness. So why would they say I have anxiety or I suffer from anxiety? And a lot of people think if they don't give their condition a name, then it doesn't exist. It's still there. It's like a person that has like diabetes, but they won't say they have diabetes. Oh, I have high sugar sometimes, but you have that diabetes. Not giving the disease a name or not calling it what it is doesn't take away from what it is. You know what I mean? So I implore all men, anybody listening to this right now that's suffering in silence, please, you are not alone. I promise you, you're not alone. So many others are suffering with this disease.
Definitely. Now, in this disorder, there's often a conversation around those things that trigger your anxiety. Over time, I'm sure that's something that you had to learn, your triggers, right?
Exactly.
Because for people who don't know that they have an anxiety disorder, they wouldn't really recognize those triggers. It's like, okay, I'm having this hot flashes, or like I'm always yelling, I'm always nervous, and all of these other things. Can we talk about those triggers? What are some of the triggers that people should be looking for when it comes to anxiety?
So some of the triggers, like for me, I know being in places where there's like loud noises, too many people, too much crowd, just like being around people who are extremely negative all the time can trigger my anxiety like that, right? So people should be watching out for, if you find that the more you go around a certain group of people, the more anxious you get, stay away from them if you can. It's not that simple. So if you work with a bunch of people who are miserable and they bring on your anxiety, what you do is you don't engage. You don't engage. This is one of my best ways that I've developed to like calm my anxiety. I don't engage. They'll tell you, they're talking to me sometimes and I'm listening, but I'm not engaging. Right? Until I feel like, oh, this is a conversation I want to be a part of, then I engage. I do not engage. If I feel like what you're doing or saying is making me anxious, I don't engage. So watch out don't place yourself in situation. And I say avoid people, places, and situations that evoke anxiety inside you. So
definitely
avoid those places and those people.
Now, the triggers is one thing, right? But what are some of the symptoms that people should be looking out for? What are some of those symptoms that they should be looking out for?
And there's and the list is this long, right? Let me say one thing. There is, of the US population, there's 30 million people suffering from anxiety to date. 30 million, right? That's an astronomical number, right? That being said, some of the symptoms that you look for is like insomnia. If you ever find that you can't sleep at night, you could be going through anxiety. Just like stomach pains, like GI upset, like just like stomach pains for no reason. You go into the bathroom for no reason. Excessive urination, right? Excessive bowel movements, right? Just like the jitters, like you feel like you ever had like too much coffee, that feeling that you get, that could be, your anxiety kicking in. Just like nervousness, you become like sensitive to light, you become like sensitive to sound. Headaches is a major one. And I tell people, I used to use that line all the time. Oh, I have a headache, when I want to get away from people because my anxiety was getting to a point where it was too high. I'll say, I have a headache. I'm going to go sit down. I do have migraines, but a lot of times, because I know I have migraines, I use it as an excuse to not say I'm having an anxiety attack right now.
Wow.
So those are some of the triggers that you want to watch for. But like I said, avoid people, places, and situations that evoke the feelings inside you that feel distressing.
Definitely. The other aspect of this, in writing your book and in listening to you, I feel like this is you've decided to use your own mental health, your own experiences to teach other people
and to help.
What are people saying to you? When you're having these conversations, when they read your book, like what are some of the things that they're saying to you?
I was actually very surprised at the the reaction I got. Like everyone was like, "Oh my God, you're so confident. You're so this. You're so that. Like you're such a confident nurse. You're such a this. You're like everybody's like they were so shocked first of all to learn that I lived with this and suffered from this in silence, right? So like that's number one. So I'm getting the reaction that I'm getting is a lot of people are telling me like, "Oh, my daughter," or my mom or my husband. I met a lady in the post office the other day and she was like, "Can I please hug you?" She took my information and she texted me before I even got home and she said, I just want to say thank God that you were in the right place at the right time. So you never know, people could be on the edge and that one conversation helps them. You know what I mean? I wrote this book so that it could help people, right?
Definitely.
I wrote it so that it could help people and people can be more open and talk about it more, right? But it's so funny because as my friends and family are reading the book, they're constantly calling me like, "So now that makes sense. So why didn't you tell us that this was happening?" You know what I mean? Like so many of my friends, my girlfriend was on a flight to Jamaica the other day, and she, as soon as her flight landed, she called me. She was like, "I cannot believe you were going through this and didn't say anything." You know?
Wow.
So
Yeah.
people, I'm getting very, very good reactions.
I
As far as
like
the book
it.
is concerned.
I definitely like it. I definitely like it. Now, people, living in the world that we live in, people are often more receptive to those verbal cues,
Yes.
with individuals who are going through something. But what are some of the nonverbal cues that folks should be able to recognize when someone is having an anxiety, when their anxiety is kicking in? What are some of those nonverbal cues?
So like if a person seems like completely distracted, like if you're in the middle of talking to someone and they seem so distracted, but there's nothing happening to be distracting them, they could be lost in thought, lost in their mind, right? Figuring out a way how to get out, so to speak. Get out of the situation, get out of their mind, so to speak. So like some of the nonverbal cues would be, one of those would be like if they just seem like distracted. If you notice that someone who used to go out a lot all of a sudden now doesn't want to go out, doesn't want to hang out with friends, right? That's, you start calling off of work a lot, like just like 2 days here, 3 days here, but never used to do it before, right? They don't want to have people over, or they're just laying in bed, because anxiety can push you into depression also.
Depression,
Or
right.
they can coexist together, right? Simultaneously, but anxiety
Right.
can push you into such a deep place that you don't even want to go anywhere. You don't want to leave your house. And like I said, it drains you of your energy. So if you notice that someone all of a sudden doesn't have the energy to do the things that they used to do, be mindful, right? And if you, in my book, I talked about like offering grace to people. So some people have such bad social anxiety where after they leave an event, they are so drained, it takes them days to recover from it, right? So offer those people grace. You know, if they say, I can't come to the event, don't like badger them, make them feel bad. Just offer people grace. Just say, okay, you can't make this one. Maybe you'll make the other one. Just don't assume that because they don't want to come, it's because they're not supporting you. They could be going through so much and you don't even know.
Yeah, definitely. It's so important to be in connection, for lack of a better word, with the people around you, the people in your circle, right? Even in today, I reached out to one of my friends because I saw a story that he posted, and I'm like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Yeah." And thank you for asking,
And
right?
that's the right thing to do. You did the appropriate thing. You know what I mean? You didn't call and say like, what's going on in your life? What's going on? And seem like you just want to be nosy. What you did was you showed concern. You showed empathy. And that's what people who are suffering from the disorder, that's what they need.
Definitely. Definitely. I felt proud when I did that, right?
Yeah. That was something good.
Because I could have went into all kinds of things because I know this person, and I sometimes, a lot of times, if we're paying attention, our folks will tell us what's going on with them. They want somebody to reach out, like even on their Instagram stories and all of that kind of stuff. because they don't know who to go to. They don't know if
Right.
I'm going to be judged. Like, how are you going to take that I'm going through something, right?
Exactly.
So when
Exactly.
you see those things with your friends, like just ask, hey, you
Mhm.
okay? You good? You
Yeah,
know?
are you
And
okay? Are you good? Like, is everything okay? You know, or sometimes people just might just want to sit in silence. You can
yeah,
offer that too. That's something you
yeah,
can offer. You sit there
yeah,
with them, you watch, even if it's a family member, you can sit and watch TV. If it's a husband, if it's a wife, if it's a child, you can just sit and watch TV, and just having your presence will actually make people feel better, you know? So
yeah.
that's another thing you can do.
Yeah, definitely. Antoinette, I just want to say, like I said, around here, I talk to a lot of artists and all of those kinds of things, but these are
Right.
often the conversations that I love having,
Yes.
because people need this information. And we
Mm-hmm.
have, in talking to a lot of artists, they also go through
Right.
anxiety, they have
Yeah.
schizophrenia, bipolar, all of these other
Right.
things. You're playing many different people.
That's right.
Um, I often say that I may have something going on with me too,
We
because
all do. We all we all do to
I'm
some degree. You know what I mean?
Michelle, when I'm here, when all of this stuff turns on, I'm Michelle G, In my daily life, I'm Michelle Gill. At work, I'm Dr. Gill.
Right.
Like, it's a
Yeah.
lot that we do as people. So
Mm-hmm.
having these conversations makes me understand and realize that I'm okay. It's okay.
Right. Yeah.
It's okay. It's all
And you
right.
know what, Michelle? It's important for people to understand too that turn off the work version of yourself when you get home. Turn it off. Your
Oh God,
family
say that
doesn't
again.
need.
Oh, wait. Hold on. We need that in a moment. For the people
Yeah.
in the back that don't understand and are not hearing us. Internet, say that again, please.
Yeah. Turn off the work version of yourself when you get home. Right? Because people don't understand. You don't need to tell your family every single thing that happened at work. Talking about it more makes you even more anxious. Them listening to you is making them anxious. And then the cycle continues. So when you get home, or whatever it takes to decompress, turn off that work version of yourself and get into whatever version that you need for your children and for your husband and for your family.
Definitely.
Yeah.
This show is my therapy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every Wednesday that I'm on here, it's for me disconnecting from all of my other worlds, right?
Yes.
Because I do all kinds of ratchet things on here and all of that kind of stuff. So it disconnects me from everything else in my life, and I'm able to
Right.
just focus and do all of these crazy things that I do on
Right.
this show. But I am so glad that you said that. And Marley Kim is saying avoid trauma dumping. Can we
Yes.
talk about the trauma dumping that we do
And
all the
Marley Kim is my little sister. So
time?
that's my little sister. Yes. So avoid trauma dumping. So like if you went through stuff in your life, don't come and take it out on your spouse. Don't come and take it out on your friends, right? And just let go of stuff. Just let go of stuff. Like you went through that when you were 15 or you were 13, but now you're
Yeah,
35. Just
yeah.
get over it, right?
Do
Just
the
get
work.
over it, move
Do
on.
the work. Do the
Do
work.
the work.
Do
Yeah,
the
it's
work that it requires.
for your
Because
own mental health.
for your own oh my gosh. Today I made a post and Danique, the artist Danique, put out a video and the caption is I laugh a lot because if I spaz out, ain't nobody gonna be happy. And
Yes.
my caption for that today was I used to be that person that one of my friends said I used to go from zero to Hulk. That's how that's how my anger used to be because people do
Right.
stupid things all the time. So over the years, I've had to learn to say, you know what? Your energy can't affect me any longer, right?
Right. Right.
I had to stop and say, Michelle, what are you getting angry about all of this stuff
Yeah.
for? Just talk it through. Stop letting people make you angry and
Mm-hmm.
anxious and all of these other things and just figure out a way to fix yourself. And it has changed
Exactly.
my life.
Yeah. You pause. First thing you do is pause. If someone says something to you, pause. Think about it. Analyze the situation. How does this affect my life? How does this affect my family's life? It doesn't. Rethink and then restructure what you're going to say to them in response. Because sometimes they could take you there to make you feel like, you know what? I'll tell you what I think about you. You know what I mean? But you really gotta like zone in,
take a moment. Yeah.
take a moment back to rethink and restructure, because sometimes it just spirals. It just spirals.
Yeah.
You know, you're mean to them, they're going through stuff, you're going through stuff, and it just makes it a miserable situation.
Definitely.
So trauma dumping is definitely real.
A big thing. Definitely real. Definitely real. So, Antoinette, I just want to say thank you for writing this book. I forgot to buy it, but I'm definitely going to buy it. I need something to read. Tell everybody where they can get the book. Tell them where they can get the book.
You can find my book, My Secret Affair with Anxiety Disorder, on Amazon. There's a Kindle version, or at www.professoranniethompson.com. But it's also the easiest way to get it to you fast is through Amazon. But yeah, I've been getting good reviews on, people's feelings about it. More people have been becoming more vocal. You know what I mean? So I'm happy. I'm happy at the life that the book has taken on. It's taken on a life of its own.
Life. So I'm happy because these are conversations we need to have. These are conversations we need to have.
And
for all don't be embarrassed. Definitely, for all you know, you've saved a few lives.
I'm sure because so many people have like come up to me and said thank you. Like, so and I'm like, the book hasn't even been out that long. It just came out last month, and so many people, because it took courage to put the book out. It took courage. It took vulnerability, because I had to showcase, oh my God, this is my weakness. Do I really want people to think that I'm weak? But it had to be done.
Definitely. And it's your therapy.
Person to do it than me, someone
than yourself
think don't have stuff like this happening to them. So
and it's your therapy. You're to help your daughter process all of this. The one question I did want to ask you though, have you had conversations with your own parents in regards to the genetic aspect of it?
You know what, I never really had like some serious conversation, because like I said, my dad, he'll be like, that's foolishness. You just snap out of it. What's wrong with you? So he's in his 70s. You're not going to be able to change his mind, right?
Definitely.
But my mom definitely has spoken to about it, and she understands the genetic components, and she even will say it to herself, like say it to me, like, yeah, like, I can't take stuff, like, don't tell me anything, or stuff like that. So yeah, so if you don't stop the cycle, you know what I mean, or find ways to cope, it will continue.
It definitely will. It definitely will.
And also, a lot of times people don't understand behaviors that other people around you showcase could be a residual of mental health disorders. So they might not be mad at you, but it's like their mental health disorder, like, that where they're showcasing these symptoms. Yeah.
Yo, your sister Kim is saying we get it from. She said we get it from her, your mother. She talking.
My mom's on here too, I'm sure.
Girl, don't get me cussed out every show.
Love you, Miss Ruth.
Don't get me cussed out today.
Miss Ruth gonna be like, what are y'all talking about? But my dad definitely, he's like, no, that's foolishness. Yeah. And that's how a lot of Jamaican men and Caribbean people on a whole thing. It's probably, and it might be even African American thing too, where we think, oh, don't seek therapy, do whatever you need to get your mind right, whatever it takes to get you there. My path does not have to be your path.
Definitely. Antoinette, this is not going to be the end of our conversation, because I do want you to come back. Maybe next month or so. I do want you to come back.
It would be my pleasure.
And definitely have some more conversations around it. What I want to do also when you come back is if some of your family members are willing to join the conversation, so that we can have a whole family discussion around anxiety and all of that kind of stuff. So the next time we have a conversation, that's what I want to do. Your husband, your daughter, whoever wants to join, so that we can have this entire conversation, because it's not only affecting you, it affects everyone around you, right? Uh-oh, what happened? Somebody must have called her. Yeah, Marley, I like that. Mental Health Wednesdays. I definitely like that. So, yeah, so I want us to do it a little bit different the next time. This time I wanted to get to know you and understand you and that type of stuff. So the next time we have this conversation, we're probably going to do it the end of June because I already have a few dates already scheduled. So I want us to all come together on this live and have this conversation because I think it's something that we definitely need to keep pushing, especially for our Caribbean community. Like we really need to understand.
Definitely
need to understand what's happening and what to look for and how to behave and all of that kind of stuff. So, shout out to your husband again for reaching out to me. And shout out to you. Shout out to you for being so brave.
Thank you. Yeah,
let people know what's going on with you, for writing this book, and for all of those things, for the professor that you are, the nurse that you are, the mom that you are, all of those things in one instance on a daily basis every day. Shout out to you for being able to handle all of that at the same time. Before you go, what is I like to tell everybody to leave us out with something positive. So can you take us out with something positive?
Something positive. And my TikTok, I'm always talking about stuff like this. You can do, achieve, and accomplish anything you put your mind to. You can do, achieve, and accomplish anything you put your mind to. Stop making excuses. So if you want good mental health, work on it, right? If you want a better job, work on it. Whatever you want, you can achieve it. You just if you believe it, you can achieve it. So put your mind to it and stop making excuses.
I like that. I definitely like it. Well, Antoinette, thank you for being here. Please give everybody your social media handles. Yeah, I can. Do you hear me?
Okay.
Okay. Give everybody your social media handles and where they
up a little, yeah.
Oh, and where they could go find a book. Just give them your social media handles and where they can find a book.
Okay, the book's on Amazon, My Secret Affair with Anxiety Disorder, or you can get it from www.professoranniethompson.com. Or like I said, you can get the Kindle version off of Amazon. My Instagram handle, I think is, Annienots _RN. And my TikTok is Professor Thompson or Professor Annie Thompson, RN. So
thank
my
you.
TikTok is mostly focused on like helping like students navigate the world of nursing and stuff like that.
I like it. I definitely like it. I want to say when I go back into the classroom, because I'm teaching a lot online, I'm definitely going to reach out to you to come and talk to my students when I get back into the classroom. I think it's something that they also would enjoy as well. And maybe I could see how I could work it out online for the fall semester and see how we could plug you in
definitely
that aspect as well. But I want to say again, thank you for being here today. Thank you for being here. And now we're in contact. We're in contact. Yes.
Thanks to Mr. Marcus.
Yes, Mr. Marcus.
You can definitely pick my book up, okay?
Yes, definitely.
And if you know someone who you think could benefit from it, and you think, oh, maybe they don't have the money to buy it, just reach out to me and I'll send them a copy.
I like that. I like that. I definitely like that. So, Antoinette, thank you.
Of course. Thank you for having me, Michelle.
No problem. No problem. Have a great evening, okay?
All right. Good night.
Good night. Get with the fix, Michelle G. Anxiety is what we were having a conversation about tonight. And we're going to do a Mental Health Wednesdays show around here. Antoinette has agreed to have some family members come on and, get some more into the conversation. I'm Michelle G. My next interview will be starting in a little bit.
I be is die, that's a lie. Yeah. Oh, gratitude is a must and die. See another sun shining. Jaja, you change my life. In the depths of the valleys, Jah, you changed my life. Surely goodness and mercies, fight them can't hurt me. Over rocks and the mountains, Jah still gon' shine His light. Yeah. Removing my burdens, don't you see Jah working? Yeah. Used to see it rainy when it's sunny. Wait for luck when me no lucky. Have up when me need and still I still me need more money. Have the confidence I meditate the consequence. Jah give my powers now my voice, hours now my pen. Sure never believe, ever faithful never leave. Vigilant when we are step in the midst of enemies. Not provide but jealousy. Belly full but how you feel. Make bread that I no eat. No one know Jah love is all I need. Through many storms, still I see clear seas. With Jah in the vessel, I'm claiming glory. Say, oh Jah, you change the story. No one know Jah love is all I need. And through many storms, still I see clear seas. With Jah in the vessel, I'm claiming glory. Say, oh Jah, you change the story. In the depths of my sorrows, Jah, you changed my life. Surely goodness and mercies, fight them can't hurt me. Over rocks and the mountains, Jah still gon' shine His light. Yeah. Removing my burdens, don't you see Jah working? Yeah. I'm inside, yeah. Oh, I give thanks for life, yeah. Looking in Jah bright sky, oh. Sunshine all day long, oh, Jah skies so bright. I'm stepping out with a smile, fresher than cake, so nobody stand no fights, yeah. Give thanks I'm alive, work hard for my payroll. Nobody shop a price, yeah. I deserve what is mine. Prayers never fade out. One go ask but mine, yeah. See, I know them still a fight, yeah. It's a brand new day, a brand new start. Yeah, we vex yesterday. Now today we are bar. Go get your dreams, make sure you get your goals. Spread up your bed early, no let it out. It's a brand new day with a brand new start. Yeah, we vex yesterday. No today we are bar. Go get your dreams, make sure you get your goals. Go get your queen, go get your own. Yeah. I said I woke up this morning feeling just sunshine on my face. Yeah. Give praise to King Alpha, thank Him for another day. Jah blessings come early in the morning. No give me no worries, give me joy. Jah guide me on the journey when me started. He never left me enemies in my destroy. Morning after the darkest night, start them faded and bring light. Been through storms, now a clear blue skies, elevation done for the rise. I've been waiting so patiently. Jah just to set me free. Through all my troubles, you cover me. Not me drown in a poverty. Not take no fuss, one work camouflage. Gone for reward, break down every wall. Take up on a car, talking to me like yeah, me just a fight for your car. Can't hold my temper, be a last sheep confused about gender. Things my heart get bruised and tender. Food alone me mix up in a blender. I woke up this morning feeling just sunshine on my face, yeah. Give praise to King Alpha, thank Him for another day. Jah blessings come early in the morning. No give me no worries, give me joy, yo. Jah guide me on the journey when me started. He never left me enemies in my destroy, yo. So we look to the east, yeah. Jah sun keep shining on us, cliff full of peace. On Psalms we chant. Where we look to the east, yeah, just sun is rising. On us be full of peace. Reverence we chanting, oh, yeah. To the east, to the east.
Yeah, it's Michelle G. Good evening. Good evening. I am here in the building. I'm just waiting for my guests to join the live. As you guys know, it's a lot of things going on in the world. I just don't be knowing where to start anymore. I just be giving up because it's it's just too much. It's too much. It's just too much. The whole P. Diddy situation. Chris Brown, of course, is released. Chris Brown made a post and he said from the cage to the stage. So he will be performing at his concerts all over the world. I feel like his whole team needs to be fired because how could they allow all of this to happen? I don't know. But yeah, the whole Diddy situation. Of course, Cassie is done with her testifying. I think Kid Cudi, I think, is the next person that's gonna be testifying. They I don't know. I don't know what to say anymore. I don't know what to say anymore in regards to these cases. Of course, the whole Megan and Tory Lane situation and just a lot. Just a lot. Just a lot.
It's hard, yeah. Empty in this world, not a little light. Got to try my hardest to do what's right. Carrying this torch from a little light. In the hearts of the youths, gonna make us try. Yeah. Big up every lion, but I tell the youths them read. Break the system chains and then your mind will set you free. Protect your family, come first, but you have to live to see that be. Health is so important, search listen Maccabee. Real gorilla, stop on my feet. King Selassie, end of the team. Martin Luther might not happy too. How summer we live in a dream. Remember Pop say one of the love we are. Go use touch one of the man. So big up.
Hi, DJ Magic.
With a cause, yo. Do your works and the ends of what we go through. I beg you watch your view now, snaking the through. See the hands of the wicked never cease, no. Oh, if you go ease up, well. Do your works and the ends of what we go through. I beg you watch your view now, snaking the through. See the hands of the wicked never cease, no. Oh, we go ease up, well.
Ricky just tip on a drop on me feet. Lyrics a kick up on top of the beat. No one the philosophy, but them a preach. Give me still up to the end of the lead. Blind billet, hunger fat, we have to beat. Centralize and make we dash away the greed. Marcus Messiah, God is a free. Lack of knowledge make you cool like you are free. Queen and finger from the attack from goal. Stand up against the Portuguese. She never run me like a team. In the buckle of other one. Many legs and a sick follower. Still a see the head and a follower. Give me the roots, the chalawa. Leaving out the Babylon. Do all of them a vampire. Them cannot escape the flame. Babylon and Rastaman are not the same. We still have the teachings in our brain. The carbon.
My bad, DJ Magic J from the UK. My bad.
Beg you watch your view now, snaking the through. To the hands of the wicked never cease. Oh, if you go easy. Put your works and the ends of the watch we go through. I beg you watch your view now, snaking the through. To the hands of the wicked never cease. Oh, if you go easy.
Hello. Do you hear me?
Best of love, Queen.
How are ya?
I'm great.
You're great. Are you able to see the background? Do you see yourself on the background?
Say again?
Do you see yourself on my background? Do you see your album, your EP cover on the
Yeah,
background?
I do, I do. Yeah, I
See
do.
it? You see it? Is it good? You like it? Is it all right?
Yeah, it's alright.
Yeah,
It's
the next
nice.
Michelle G. We have Dahvid. Did I say that right? Because you know your name is David, but I think I said Dahvid. Is it correct?
Yeah,
What the
Dahvid
way I'm
Slur.
Dahvid Slur. Why did you change the spelling of your name? Why did you change the spelling of your name?
Um, was kind of to give it more like a different sound rather than the just David,
Yeah.
you know. And at a particular point, through football, one of my favorite footballer was David Villa, whose name is
Oh,
David. You know, so I say
okay.
I'll play a little with that pronunciation.
I like it. I definitely like it. So we have David here, and his EP is called "Give It Your All." Why that name? Why that name?
Um, it was mainly based off a song in a sense, but I think giving it your all could mean like different scenarios. In a sense, it could
Okay.
be like love, could it be about work, career, you know, it can be anything about that. And I think like the compilation of songs kind of really gather that message of giving it your all, you know, in different aspects. So I think that was most befitting for the EP.
Definitely, definitely. So your EP is out now. And how long have you been doing music? How long have you been doing music?
From a kid, I've been playing instruments,
Okay.
then on to a bit of stage performing with steel
Okay.
pans, you know. So I can play the steel pan, I can play the bass guitar, a bit of the acoustic, you know. So
Nice.
it's from early age. I think it started from the church. My mother was an active member in the church, still is, you
Okay.
know, and that was like my medium, my expression, you know, while growing up in the community at church. So I
Definitely.
would
I
say
like it.
about maybe about age 8 or 9. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow. How do you think you've transitioned over the years when it comes to music? How do you think you've transitioned?
Uh transitioned in the sense of like
Your
fans
growth.
are
How have you grown with your sound and with your music?
okay. I would say around 2012. That's when I started to vocally bring the music across. Because as I said before, it was just instruments.
Okay.
Um, in that time, I think Chronix, Chronix was like one of the major persons. I was a shy one. You know, I was always a shy one growing up. Doing music, you know, is weird. But Chronix, I think Chronix was one of that person who said, you know, like just like seeing Chronix doing his thing, it's like,
Mm,
yeah, man, this is the road I'm supposed to be on.
I
You know,
like it. I definitely
yeah.
like it. I absolutely love it. So you getting into music from a child, and now doing it professionally. I have a
Yeah.
lot of conversations with different artists about struggles and all of that type of stuff in this business, and even some point in saying I've had enough. I'm done with this. What are some of those struggles that you've had to deal with? And say, you know what, I'm just gonna keep going.
Ah, where to start from? Well, the first I like for the first time coming into music, getting the songs, you know, getting songs done properly. That was
Mm,
like a first task for me. I used to start from YouTube rhythms to releasing songs, putting them up on YouTube to getting learning how to officially release songs, then learning to work with producers, good producers, learning publishing and all of that. You know, it's been a long. Trust me, I don't know where to start from with the struggles, but it's a thing
wow.
where they help you to learn and grow. You know, there was times when, well, I think all artists go through the studio, waiting in the studio yard for hours, You know what I mean? Going at the stage shows, not getting to perform, waiting in the line of artists backstage. You know what I mean? And then still have to come back with a smile the next day. So it, you know, yeah, opportunities come, and then artists who have, or probably just, you know, the right connections get the opportunities, and then we still have to sit and wait and all these things. So it's, I think it's more evident to the artists. You know, the team is there, but I think the artists face it a lot. You know, and part of the journey is learning to overcome these struggles.
Mm. How though? How do you, if for the things that you just mentioned, being there, being somewhere, not being able to perform, waiting in line for a producer to listen to your sound, or choose
Yeah.
you, or whatever the case may be. How does someone overcome those things and decide that this is something that I want? I'm just gonna stick to this.
Ah, there are many ways. For me, I use Jah, my spirituality, as my anchor. You know, because a lot of artists would say, all right, get in the circles where the people are. You know what I mean? Some take that approach. It work for some, it doesn't work for some. You know, while some learn and adjust their craft. You know, I think I'm taking that route where I see like the artists that are at the top, I would say, are more successful. Learn a bit from them, grasp a bit from there, grasp a bit from here, and then apply to my structure than rather to run to a already created structure. You know,
Okay.
I think for every artist, our own formula is different. The blueprint is different for everyone. So for
Definitely.
me, I work at it. You know, I use my spirituality. I use Jah to say, all right, tomorrow we're coming back stronger. The next day we're coming back stronger. You know, and those
Yeah.
opportunities that we miss oftentimes come back around.
Yeah, definitely. What does that do to you mentally though? Like, you what does that do to you mentally? Like, you have something that's good, but it's
Yeah.
like you got to prove that I'm good enough for you to listen to me. What does that do to a person mentally?
Sometimes it either breaks you or make you. You know, it makes you cry at times. You know, if you're
Wow.
really that passionate about it, and then it makes you become very more confident the next time. You know, because for one thing, for me, I like for opportunities like that. I use my repetitiveness, like
Okay.
rehearsing my songs, listen to them as much. I use that as my confidence. So when I go there, I know what I'm coming to deliver. You know, and I use that to kind of, overshadow the bad times.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, definitely, definitely, definitely. So you're here doing your EP. And is this your third EP, or this is your second?
yeah. Third,
Third. Okay. What's different this time around for you? What's different this time around for you?
for this EP, I'd say it's uh more closer, more intimate, in a
Okay.
sense of more me, more David. You know. Like
Wow. Wow.
the stuff I sing about are stuff that I've gone through.
Wow.
So, but this one it's more connective, I would say. For the past, I would say for the other two EPs, they are David. You know, they are written by me,
Mm.
but I would say more. This one's a more mature. The artist is more mature in a sense.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah,
What do you, because a lot of times being in this industry, your mind frame has to be a certain way, right? And
yeah.
you just mentioned being more mature in this instance. What comes with that maturity? Like what's behind the maturity this time for you?
Uh, I'd say family,
Hmm.
spirituality, friends, the people around me, knowing that this music that I'm doing, it people actually like it. You know, it makes them feel happy. It makes me feel happy, and it makes
Nice.
me feel more purposeful in a sense. So, I'd say, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Because coming from where you come from, Trenchtown,
hmm
that's a place that a lot of people don't get to make it. Out of there. Yes, Bob Marley's from there and all of that kind of stuff, right? But there's odds that you have to beat in order to get out of that place, for lack of a better term, right?
Yeah.
What is something that you've learned about yourself, coming from where you come from and where you are right now in your life? What's something that you learned?
Um, I'd say like growing up in this community, I learned that I'm determined, you know. Um, I'm cultured. I've developed like a love for people,
Mm,
a love for consciousness, a love for rebellism, you know, roots rocking type of vibe. Like more
yeah.
more roots, not really say rootsy reggae, but just roots, like
Mm,
Jamaican cultured roots type of,
yeah.
you know, yeah, that type of
Yeah.
energy. I think the
Definitely.
trench tone kind of aided me with that.
Nice. Definitely. Definitely. So this song, the name of your EP is called "Give It Your All." Tell me
Yeah,
about this song, "Give It Your All." Tell me about the song.
this song was written about a year ago, and I was at a low place at that time.
Wow.
You know, yeah, not say depressed. Although we are, I think we all have some level of depression. Anyways,
Yeah. Yeah.
living in this
Yeah.
world, we must have some level of depression. But it
Yeah.
was started like a state like that, and
Mm,
I was like the urge came to me in that state because I'm a July person, I'm a Cancer, so sometimes I'm
okay.
moody.
Right. Right.
Yeah, but at being in that mood at the time, like I felt the urge to write about it,
Mm,
you know, and that's how this song came about. I've never really, I don't like to write on say low energy feelings or bad energy feelings.
wow.
It kind of difficult for me sometimes, but this
Mm,
like for this song, I found the urge to just let it out. So
I like it.
this one is kind of yeah. How it came together even was surprising to me. Like after I
Wow.
finished it, I was like, it's the first time I'm writing something like this. Yeah.
I like it. So I'm gonna play it because this is my first time playing it here on Get With the Fix. So this is Dahvid Slur. This song is called "Give It Your All."
Yes, yes, yes. Welcome back. Welcome back from the break on the Edge 105 FM. My name is DJ Leaders. Yeah, man. And right now we're gonna premiere to the world a brand new single, hot track, mashing up the whole place right now. Give it your all.
I desire. Oh yeah. I try and them to lie. The troubles them never lie. Of the enough time when me try, still man have to try. Try and go pain, no me no feel to try again. Trials them tall, think me coulda conquer them. Never get no push start, so me put them walk again. Who did say lie alone? Me think them was a friend. Opportunities arise, jealousy I get to them. Happy for the news, just a smile and I pretend. See me a try, giving it 110. Receive back 5, woulda lucky if I 10. Them say set a plan, the message of the veterans. Got the confidence, only wish me that a better hand. With the plastic, don't understand the world of balance. You really can't give what you really wanna. Sometimes set a plan, the message of the veterans. Got the confidence, only wish me have a better hand. The plastic spoon, understand the world no balance. I'm trying, yeah. It's like I'm drowning. It's like I'm lost. Long time I've been fighting, but the fight still gets harder. Feels like I'm drowning. Feels like I'm lost. Oh, yeah. Long time I've been fighting, but the fight still gets harder. Nothing no promise, nothing no say like green bird. Oh, me still a living a pain. Give thanks.
You know what's crazy? And I don't know if anybody told you this.
It's in celebration days.
I'm gonna tell you what's crazy to me, right?
Yeah.
I was listening to this song today, and I could have swear it was Chronics.
Nice.
What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Your voice gives Chronics.
Yeah. I get that a lot. I get that a lot.
It's like your Chronics reincarnated or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I think they compare us because like there's familiarity. I think like how the composition sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like something Chronics would have done.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's a great compliment. That's never a
Yeah.
bad thing. That's
No,
never a
no,
bad.
it's never a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's a great thing actually.
It's a great thing. It's definitely a great thing. Like I said, I'm listening to all of your songs today, and I'm like, I swear I'm listening to Chronics because, like,
Yeah.
it's the weirdest thing to listen to and hear. Have you worked with him? Have you worked with him?
We play football sometimes, yeah.
Okay. What does
So
he say?
hopefully soon we're gonna get some work together.
Yes. So what does he say when
Fingers
he hears your voice? Fingers crossed. What does he say? What does Chronic say when he hears your voice? Like, what does he say to
He's
you? Or
fully supportive, man. Fully,
I
cause
like,
like I do some work with his brother, Universal. So
yes, yes. I love
he's fully
myself.
supportive.
Definitely. I love it.
I
I
don't think
definitely
I don't think for him, I don't think he hears himself when he listens to me, yeah, cause he's his original voice.
you're
But I
right.
think like other listeners would hear it. And a
Yeah,
lot of people mention me with Highway as well. See, I
nice.
got the
Nice.
Highway type of song.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Definitely, definitely. Now, the other song that you have, Do Ja Works, with
Yeah.
yourself and Carbon,
Carbon.
Like, yeah, tell me, how did that come about? How did that collaboration happen?
This one, like most of these songs have been written from some time ago.
Wow.
I think
Wow.
like they always come out. I don't know, like most of the songs that do well for me, they
Mm,
do well like after a year after they've been written. Like maybe like
wow.
normally 1 year after they've been written.
Wow.
Yeah, so but this one though as Carbon we had this collab coming from about 2 years. But we
Mm,
had finally gotten it together, the right, the right production, the right producer as well. Sinky Beats, big up yourself. This one though, as cause Carbon is like another like mind itself, like
okay.
mind warrior, you know what I mean, from the Rastafari community. So we've been always in the streets like dub school, these events, you know what I mean, open mic events, showcasing. So we develop a brotherhood from then.
Nice.
And I've always wanted to do a song with Carbon because I love his Carbon presents a like upstand right
Yeah.
personality, which
Yeah.
as a Rastafari, that is what we need nowadays. So I
Definitely.
think like doing a song with Carbon, it should be substantial, you know what I mean? It shouldn't be just a herb song or a ganja song or you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And Buja Works was the topic.
I like it. I like it. Then I'm gonna ask you, what is doing Ja Works when I done play the song, so people understand what that means. So here
Equal
is.
rights, living equally, living
Mm,
sharing the same rights, respect, responsibility for each and every man. mean that we not try to hurt each other. We do not try to kill each other. We do not try to supersede each other. You know what I mean? Each and everyone are or should be allowed the same rights as each and everyone. And I think with following Jah laws and the laws of God, once we are doing that in accord, I think everything should float naturally. So I think one sense say of saying doing Jah works is doing the right thing in a sense.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So here is Do Jah Works.
Empty in this world, not a little light. Got to try my hardest to do what's right. Carrying this torch from a little light. In the hearts of the youth, gonna make us right. Yeah. Pick up every lion where I tell the youths them read. Break the system chains and then your mind will set you free. Protect your family, come first, but you have to live to see that be. Health is so important, search listen Maccabee. Real gorillas step on my feet. King's the last, the end of the team. Martin Luther might not happy to how some of we live in a dream. Remember Bob said one of the love we have, but you touch one of the man. So pick up every microphone, giant to the past, yo. Do your work and the ends of it, what we go through. I beg you watch if you know, stay. So the hands of the wicked never cease, no. Oh, we go easy. And the ends of it, what we go through. I beg you watch if you know, stay. So the hands of the wicked never cease, no. Oh, is love.
Ricky just sip on a drop on me feet. Lyrics that kick up on the beat. The one the philosophy them a preach. Give me philosophy the head of the lead. Blind belief, hunger fight we have to beat. Centralize and make we dash away the beat. Messiah God is set free. Can knowledge make you cool like you are free. Up on the attack on goal, like stand up against the Portuguese. She never run me like a team. In the buckle of the one,
give me the roots, chalawa.
Your music is so dope. Like, I love it.
It's carbon, Do Jah works, man.
Yeah, I love the messages, and especially in this song. It says, right, do Jah works. Yeah. Nobody can stop you. Basically, once you do Jah works, whatever is for you will be for you, right? Nobody in inequities and all of those other things matter as long as you do Jah works.
Yeah, correct.
I like it. I like you, actually. I like your vibe, your energy, and everything. And this is my first time meeting you. Debo reached out to me and was like, Michelle, I want you to interview this guy. And I'm like, okay, sure. Send me his Instagram. Let me see what he's about. And
Debo.
I really bring up Kick Debo. I absolutely love your songs and all of that kind of stuff. Are you working with 100 Hours ENT? Are you working with any songs with them right now?
Say again?
Are you working with Crown Media or 100 Hours ENT? Are you going to be doing any songs with them?
We have some stuff coming soon.
Nice.
Yeah, because we have a few stuff from their productions working on. So, new time. Because, like, as you mentioned that, like, I have a lot of stuff in the pipeline right now. Like, about 15, 16 songs, new songs.
Wow.
So it's like getting them in the right order and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Sometimes I feel like I'm wrote out.
You know what I love? I love when I'm talking to artists, right? And your smile, like when you talk about your music and the works and stuff that you're doing, you're smiling the whole time. which tells me that this is your passion, that this is something that you love to do.
Yeah, it is. It is. Just me.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
me to be doing it so long, it just it has to be love.
Definitely, definitely. The other song that you have on this EP is called the Psalms 23.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people who do that Psalms 23 song. There's a lot of
Mhm.
songs around Psalms 23. Why is Psalms 23 one of those things that I feel like a lot of reggae artists is always singing about?
Um, I think, well, reggae. Well, I know for Rastas who
Mm.
some who do read the Bible. I think that verse, the Psalms, it's a very powerful passage in the Bible where like it speaks of like day to day struggles that we face. I think it
Mm.
speaks more closer than the other passages of the Bible. So I think maybe just connection, because like we as Jamaican people, we all are struggling with the economy, the society, family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think we can relate to these psalms, or relate to them easier than anything else. We see
Yeah.
ourselves as going through the burden, through the shadow
Mm.
of the dark. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
While the Almighty, we wanting the Almighty to walk with us. So it's. I think it's very similar to the struggles we go through.
Definitely. Definitely, definitely. Now, who are some of your musical influences? Like who are some of the people that, you've looked up to since you've been doing music?
Well, first and foremost, Bob and the Wailers, Peter Tosh Bunny, Bob Marley, Alton Ellis, Ken Boone, Gregory Isaacs, mostly the guys from this community. And like as a youth, like listening and falling in love with these artists' music is like I really didn't recognize that this is the place that they're from, like
Yeah.
till like
Yeah.
getting old and like
Yeah.
trench down, this is right here, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like I think the first idols or icons, Alton Ellis, Bob, Gregory Isaac, Peter
Mm.
Tosh, Bunny. And I don't know, maybe because the community was so close knit, the music was always there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe the community was even promoting them to us as kids.
Yeah.
So I'd say those guys were first inspiration. From this generation though, I'd say like Chronics,
Mm.
Proto. Well, all of the new school people, Jessica Barker, Leela. Um, but like more in depth, I'd say Sizzla Kalonji,
Mm. Why
Bounty
Sizzler?
Killer.
Why Sizzler? Why Sizzler?
Alright, Sizzla now was at the time like listening to Sizzla music was in I would say in high school days.
Mm.
And Sizzla was like a young Rastafari stalwart carrying that fire in this generation. Because I think from the Bob Marley era to the Sizzla era,
Right.
I wouldn't say it was like a dip in times, but Sizzla came and brought such a momentum, and it was such a phenomenal that a
Mm.
lot of Rasta youth started to turn Rastas, like, Bob and Garnet Silk. Dennis
Yeah.
Brown was the one who used to carry that energy. So Sizzla in that time, I would say, the young veteran.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
youth
I
could have
read
more kind of.
connect to him. Yeah. I
Mhm.
read somewhere that you performed. You performed with Sizzler? Is that true?
Yeah, I opened around, I think it was 2016. I got
Oh
the
wow.
opportunity to open for him. Yeah, it was a show in Montego Bay, Doctor's Cave. Yeah, it was
Nice.
first. I think that was my first like big presentation as a young artist. You know what I
Wow.
mean? Got my own hotel room and all these things.
The whole nine
Yeah.
yards.
Yeah. Say again?
The whole encompassing of everything. The hotel,
everything,
everything,
everything. Yeah.
everything. Nice.
I didn't
I
get
like.
paid though, but the experience was enough.
Can we talk about that for a moment? I'm glad you brought that up, right? Because
Yeah.
there's a lot of opportunities that young artists, wouldn't take because they're not getting any payment. What is something that you want to say to those folks in regards to the experience aspect of it?
It's gonna take you longer to get to that goal because you have to learn. It's like you just have to learn these key points before you progress. You know, like you have to definitely learn these things. So if you miss the opportunities, say for instance, the same show in Montego Bay, a lot of artists would have not gone because they're not getting paid. But I would not have
Yeah,
gotten to open for Sizzler. I wouldn't
yeah,
have gone to meet so many people on that end. I wouldn't have gotten to come in the Gleaner. I wouldn't have gotten that hotel room and all that feeling, the experience.
yeah.
I wouldn't, I wouldn't. And it was nerve, like it was my very first big crowd too as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
nerve struck, now overcome.
Definitely. It teaches you a lot, right? You've learned a lot from it.
Yeah,
Definitely a lot from
yes,
it. Yeah,
yes.
definitely. So let's talk
And
about this morning. Tell me about this morning.
this morning now, we got my virgin Javessel, another artist on the rise too, like myself. This one is a positive one to start the day, for each. I think in the mornings are the most critical times of days. The mornings determine our evenings and our nights workout. So I think not every morning is going to be all peppy and groovy and all upful and bright.
Definitely.
So
Definitely.
on the mornings that we are not so well,
Mm,
it's like this one is to just try to find even one thing to be, smile about. Whether it be
yeah.
going to the job, coming home to see the wife, getting the paycheck by Friday, or just something to have a little spark while heading out. Just to turn the good days into a great day.
Definitely. Definitely. I like that. So here is this morning.
I really tired. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, ay,
Boy, I give thanks for life, yeah. Looking in your
In
bright
your bright
skies, yeah.
skies,
Sunshine all day long, oh, just skies are bright. I'm stepping out with a smile, fresher than cake, so I just start my fight, yeah. Give thanks I'm alive, work hard for my parents, job a price, yeah. I deserve what is mine, prayers never fail, oh. Work hard on mine, yeah. See, I know them still a fight, yeah. It's a brand
it's a
new
brand
day.
new day.
Brand new start, yeah, we vex yesterday. No, today we
That's
are
the
bar,
way
go get
forward.
it, make sure you get your goals. Spread up your bed early, no let it out. It's a brand
It's a
new day,
brand new day.
brand new start, yeah, we vex yesterday. No, today we are bar, go get your dreams, make sure you get your goals. Go get your queen, go get your own, yeah. I said I woke
Said I
up this
woke up
morning,
this morning.
just and I'm not best, yeah. Give praise to
The
King
first
Alpha
King Alpha.
for another day. Your blessings come early in the morning. Don't give me no
You give me
worries.
no worries, give me joy, oh.
When me started, you never left me enemies in my distress.
morning after the darkest night.
Darkest nights,
It can bring
and
light.
bring
Blue skies, now a clear blue skies, elevation, gone for the
on
ride.
the
Waiting so patiently,
patiently.
set me free through all my troubles. You cover me,
Over me.
when me down in the poverty. God, not take no part, one work for my blood. God, for
Listen,
Yep, down everywhere.
how how's this EP doing? How is this EP doing? Because it's dope. It's really nice. I like it.
It's going very well, very well. Like it's over About 90,000 streams since release. So
Nice.
it's really going pretty well.
Nice, nice. How do you
Yeah.
feel? Like, how do you feel?
I
When you
feel
see those
grateful,
numbers,
man.
feel
I
good.
feel
Yeah,
like I feel like I'm at the top already.
yeah,
That
yeah,
is feeling I'm getting. I'm feeling like I'm closer there.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel
I
like I'm there.
I like it. I like it. It's great. It's great. And I always have these conversations. It's great to see, where you come from as a child and you grow and you want something so bad and then you come into your manhood and you're
Yeah.
doing good conscious music for the masses and the world to hear. And when you see those numbers, it's like, yeah, Ja, thank you. Like this is what I've been working so hard for. So thank you.
Yes. It feel fulfilling.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Definitely. Definitely. Definitely.
that's what
Are you
I'm feeling.
Are you signed to anyone or you're doing this all independently?
I've been doing it part independent. I'm not signed. Like say, let's get it out. I'm not signed, but I'm working with Sakai Media,
Okay.
Sinky Beats, and a few producers. So it's
Okay.
not solely me, you know.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but we have a team together that's doing pretty well.
I like it. I like it. Can we talk about the team aspect of being in this music space, right? Can you
Yeah.
tell folks, not everyone is going to have the same experiences, of course, but how
Hmm.
important is it to have a solid team working with you alongside you to make sure that you're getting what you're supposed to be getting when it comes to this music?
It's very important. It's almost impossible to do it without
Mm.
a team. Or to do it correctly without a team. It's almost impossible. Because I think for the artists, everyone in has their department where they have to focus on. As an artist, I oftentimes don't want to be doing publishing, be doing music videos, be doing this and doing that, and then to focus back on the art, and connecting to the people.
Mm.
So I think as that team is very, very, very much necessary. I think the hardest part is getting the team together. I've been say about part of 5 different teams since my career, and
Wow.
it's
Wow.
sometimes they last, sometimes they don't, sometimes others have different visions.
Mm.
So when it do come together though, like no, have a team together, like we have the vision aligned. It works very well. It works very well, and it makes things easier. It makes things faster too, in a sense.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely. Well, what are some things that, artists should look for when they're looking for that right team to work with? What do you think some of those things are?
Vision, like vision where the artist, say for instance, if I'm a dancehall artist, the team should love dancehall music. They should all be fans of dancehall music. So we have a more targeted approach. So the team and the people have to have a very good chemistry.
Mm.
Very good. The team is supposed to be can stern talk to the artist stern, while the artist can talk to the team stern, while no one is overstep any boundaries or anything like that.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
things are critical.
Yeah.
Like it's not just about having a team and we're out there, and it has to work behind the scenes for it to work out, on the stage.
Yeah. I like that. I definitely like that. Well, I definitely like that. What is some advice that you would give to other individuals who want to do what you're doing in regards to the business aspects of doing this music? What's some advice that you would want to give to them?
On the business aspect, um, for me, on the business aspect side of it, I'm getting there. I'm learning bits as I go along. Cause for me, I've like for say earlier parts of my career, I've been focusing on the production side, making
Okay.
the product. So like
Mm.
couple years, well, we've been just working on the product. So
Okay.
now, like branding and selling the product
Mm.
is a very tricky game sometimes. So I'd say as young artists, don't run from it, don't shun it. Yeah, don't shun the business side. Although it seems technical and it seems training sometimes, it sometimes take the fun out of the music. It takes
Yeah.
the joy out of the artist, it takes the joy out of the musician sometimes, but
Mm.
at the end of the day, you don't want to be saying that I should have done. You know, that I think that feeling is going to be very much worse than any other feeling. You know, so don't shun the business side, learn it.
I like I like I like that advice. I
Yeah,
like that advice. I really like that advice because a lot of times that's the thing that people are running from. They don't want to know none of that stuff. They're just like, I get
yeah,
some money and that's it. And then we've often seen instances where a lot of the older artists, the veterans, end up with nothing because they never learned
the
that
business
part of
side.
it. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely, definitely. So thank you for that advice. What else do you have coming up, or you're just pushing this EP right now?
I have another project coming up, album. I have an album coming up soon, and well, two albums, because this EP should have actually been an album,
Two
10 track
albums?
album. Yeah, the Give It Your All should have been an album itself, but
Wow.
when the team decided to like split the consumption so the fans can get time to listen to songs. You know, I think now, like for the streaming, like we consume music very fast and heavily.
Definitely.
So like,
Everybody got ADHD. Everybody got
yeah,
ADHD.
yeah. So I have like the other side of that project to come, while
Mm,
another project as well. So I have songs for them. I have songs.
I like it. I like it. I was talking to Ding Dong last week, and he was like, yeah, my album is out, but I'm back in the studio because, again, like you just said,
Yeah,
everybody's attention span is this little. And while these songs are playing, I still need other stuff that I need to put out because these songs
yeah,
are going to disappear. And I have to continue working all the time to
exactly.
make sure that I'm putting out more music.
Yeah, yeah. It's like that, and even on the reggae side, it's like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think, what I think? I think it's probably, and this is just my take. I think it's a little harder, even on the reggae side, compared
yeah,
to the dance
yeah.
side, right? Because
Hmm.
the dance side, you could put out a song and it hits. But with the
Yeah.
reggae aspect of it, it takes more work, more audience reach, and all of that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
Like, why do
Yeah.
you think? Why do you think that is, though? And what are you guys doing to try to combat all of that stuff that's in the middle?
I think also the production costs, like for producing reggae songs, are more expensive than producing
Wow.
dancehall songs. Yeah,
Wow.
because like if it's a live rhythm, you have to play the every instrumentalist, you have to pay the producer, the studio time,
Mm,
and all of that. So like
okay.
to like put out a song every day, like a dancehall artist for a reggae artist, would be almost expensive, impossible. You
Wow.
know? Yeah. So I think the cost to make the products are different. So in that sense, the comparison is kind of a bit off there, or hard to
Mm,
compare them in that sense. And then
wow. But
dancehall, I think the dancehall space too as well is not say bigger than the reggae, but like the quantity
mm,
is more.
mm,
So like you for the one night you might have like 10 dancehall parties while only two reggae parties.
right, right, right.
Yeah.
It's always
I think
amazing to me how they group out reggae and dancehall in the same aspect of things when it comes to these
yeah,
award
yeah.
shows, right? Because you just explained, and I never thought about what you just said. You just explained the different productions and the different things that goes into doing a reggae song compared to a dancehall song. Yet still, they're just encompassed into one all the time.
all the time, and it's pretty like it's unfair
Mm.
and kind of like ridiculous. I don't see why like all of these people in music and they're not talking about these things.
Wow.
It's hard to compare. The dance hall is more there are more quantity events, the consumption.
Mm.
Cause like people listen reggae, but they're faster to go for the dance hall. It's like the dance hall is sugar
Yeah.
compared
Yeah.
to like water or anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think it
Wow.
definitely should be class different.
Yeah, I learned something tonight. I definitely did learn something tonight. From I learned a lot of things from you, but that's a major thing to understand that a lot of times people are often wondering like why do they group everything together, not
Yeah,
understanding the difference in the two and the amount of work that each take and the amount of money that goes into each
exactly. Yeah.
so thank you
Mhm.
for saying that. Thank you for saying that. A lot of people, and I've spoken to a lot of reggae artists who have never said that. um
Yeah,
but thank you for making that difference so that people can understand that there's a lot more that goes into reggae music. So there needs to be a separation, not to say that, oh, we're going to keep the music separate, but when it comes
yeah,
to these awards and all of that kind of stuff, like there needs to be a separate category for reggae music and dancehall
definitely.
music.
hmm And
I
I
like
think
it.
when it's they have different categories, they it can be broad more. You know?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
definitely, definitely. So, can we talk about if it's not for me? If it's not for me, I just love the words. If it's not for me, because I live by that. If it's
yeah.
not for me, I'm okay with it. I'm all right. I'm okay with it. So, tell me about it's not for me. If it's not for me.
It's sort of that vibe. I'm okay if it's not for me. It's a relationship song. You know, relationship. Like we've
What
reached
happened?
that.
What happened? What happened? What
We reached the crossroad. A lot of people ask me about this song.
You just gotta give it to John. I just give it to John. Say, listen, if it's not for me, then whatever.
Yeah. This one still, as I say, it's personal. It's one of
Uh-huh.
them. I was at a point where like the relationship it wasn't toxic or anything like bad like that, but
Hmm.
it just wasn't what my heart wanted.
Wow.
It's just like a different, like, I think this belongs to someone else, but it's not for me.
Wow. 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 As a
Mm.
man, right? How do
Yeah.
you get to that point in knowing and recognizing when something is not for you? It might be somebody else's cup of tea, but not my cup of tea.
I think all men do. I think we know from the start.
Wow.
Because I told my friends, like, a lot of times, like, when guys get their hearts broken, it's really their fault in some sense. Because a guy he knows if it's for him or not. But sometimes, as I
You
say,
just go with it.
the love is so compelling that we can't draw back that feeling. It's like we have to go, we have to be there. It's like
Wow.
magnet. It's like magnet to iron in a sense.
Wow.
First, well, for me as a man,
Mm.
But I think most of the times we, as men, know, you know. But because I like say maybe the benefit of the doubt, we say, let's see see if we can
What if
what
it could
it's about,
change?
if
What
it
could
can
happen? What
change.
it's about? Yeah. Is
Yeah,
that fair? Is that fair to someone though? Is that fair to a woman to have a man know from the door that, this is not what I want, but I'm gonna try this and see if it works. Is that fair?
I think it should because I think it work vice versa. I think
Okay.
women at times know too that this guy isn't the one,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I think because we all want love, both sexes, we want love. So when
Mm.
we find that attraction, is like we know it's not good, but we still just want to go there and feel it. You want because it's like being in that state is you feel alive. You feel like
Yeah,
your heart is racing.
yeah,
You feel excited.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
How do you have that conversation with a woman though? Like, what is that conversation like when you know to yourself that this is not for me? Like, how do you
it's
have that
hard.
conversation?
It's hard.
Tell me how you had the conversation. Like, how did you have the conversation?
Alright, it was most of the times like stages when you get to stages like this, people ghost people. So not to
Oh,
face this thing, Because like how can you say to a woman that loves you that you don't think she's the one for you? You know?
so you
It wasn't like
ghost?
that for my case though. We had broken up and I like, alright, let's just be friends. We say let's
Wow.
just be friends.
Okay.
But like you're right, I've seen situations like that where a man or a woman has been together with someone for years,
Mm.
but then one loves the other more, and you
Uh-huh.
obviously can see it, But how do you say that to a person that loves you unconditionally and that I don't think you're the one, you know?
Wow. So it's a rough set of words. It's a
It's
it's a
rough,
rough
bro.
it's a rough set of words, but I think it's a necessary set of words because, like you said in the beginning, this may be somebody's wife that you're playing with.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
So the
I think
conversations are necessary.
I think it's something should be said to us, to ourselves, the man in the mirror, in a sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I like it. I like it. So here is if it's not for me.
Just give me a lover, real. Non-stopping up, just second up, locking up, possessing up. Just give me a lover, real. Non-stopping up, just second up, locking up. Sometimes love won't last for a lifetime. Sometimes one night stand, that's for your time. Sometimes love won't last for a lifetime. Sometimes one night, yeah. Since all the pieces are broken, love has come so far. A months turn to years since we've spoken. At times I wonder where we fell wrong. Hope you found grass greener on the other side. Cause I don't cry, I go shed no tears. Yes, I've learned my lessons. Loving you with all of my blessings. And I love me should I never fall. So no, I won't fight for your love. Cause if it's not for me, then I know. If it's for me, then shall grow. True love never dies. Yeah, the only thing can take time. So I won't wait for your love. If it's not for me, then I know. But if it's for me, then shall love never dies. Yeah, the only thing can take time.
This is harsh. You are literally. This
Nice.
is like a Dear John letter. This is like
Ah, yeah, it's
this, this is the
something
reggae
like
version
that.
of the Dear John letter. Like, wow, I feel broken. I feel heartbroken just standing here picturing that I'm this girl and this is the words that are being told to me right now.
Yeah,
You're
nice.
cruel. You're cruel. You're cruel. You're cruel. I just want you to know
No,
that you're cruel.
no,
So what I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna post this clip and I'm gonna encourage the guys, the fellas. I'm gonna get in trouble for this, right? But I'm gonna encourage the fellas that if you know that a girl is not for you, just play this song. Just go find this song and play
yeah,
this song. Tag you, and I'm gonna say if the girl gives you a hard time, tell her to find David. Tell her that's the artist that you need to
Yeah,
have a car.
yeah.
I love your music. You have music I think for everyone, right? You have
Yeah,
songs that can
I
people
hope so.
everyone sing that everyone can sing. And this if it's not for me, is this gonna be your next single? Because I think this needs to be heard. Like I feel like this
This
song,
one to get some attention.
yeah, this one needs some attention. This one needs some attention. Yeah.
Definitely, definitely.
So when you put it out as your next attention song, just tag me in it and say Michelle G said this song needs.
Yeah.
Y'all
Nah,
need to pay
this one's
attention
your
to this
favorite, I
song.
guess.
Yeah,
Assuming this is your favorite.
honest. This is a very honest song that I think the world needs to hear. And a lot of times people don't know how to say those words, you know?
Yeah,
People don't know how to say those words. So like you said, they ghost people. And that's even worse than saying the words.
exactly. I think
Yeah.
ghosting someone is like you leave it open, like you leave them wondering, you know?
Yeah. Or you leave the door open that you could come back at any time and say, you know
Yeah.
what, I was going through something. You know how you men do. You know how you men do. I was going through something and I needed some time and now I'm back. Yeah.
Well, women know to close the door now.
Close the door. Let's close the door.
Yeah,
Don't
let's
even
close
matter.
the
Don't
door.
even matter. Just close the door. So that I wanna definitely thank you for being here today. You have some dope music. And I wish you nothing more more success, nothing more than more success with your music. Your music needs to be heard because it's definitely some great powerful messages in them.
Appreciate
And
that.
I really hope that people start to listen to everything that you have to say. But I want you to build your Instagram. Your Instagram is suffering a little bit. It's suffering over
Ah,
there. It's suffering. Do something with it.
yeah,
Do something with it.
yeah, I get the team involved.
Have a team. Like your Instagram needs some more people. It needs some more
Yeah,
people. People need to know that you're out here and you're doing this
definitely.
definitely great music. So Mortimer actually liked your flyer when I put it up.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I know people
I,
know that you exist, but you need to let them know that you exist more. Your presence needs to be there more.
definitely, definitely. I appreciate that. I'm gonna take
Yeah,
that
but
tip.
yes, please take that to your team. And when you put out this single, if it's not for me, when you put that out, when you do the
Yeah,
video, and I think it needs a video. Like I think it needs this is the
it needs a
song. This
nice
is
video.
it needs a nice video. Again, tag me in it and say Michelle G say that y'all need to hear this song.
Definitely.
So before you go, please take us out of here with something positive and then give everybody your social media handle and where they can find your music.
All right. In the depths of the valley, oh Jah, you changed my life. Surely goodness and mercies, fight them can't hurt me, yeah. Over rocks and the mountains, just still gon' shine his light, yeah. Removing my burdens, Michelle G, see Jah working, yeah. You don't know, said David Slur, yeah, give thanks again there with Michelle G. Yeah, get with the fix.net. Was a pleasure. Dahvid Slur, Sakai Media, the whole team, big up. Debo, King Debo, blessed love, Jamaica, America, the whole world, Dahvid Slur.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Tell them where they can find your music. Let them know where they can find your
Oh,
music.
Dahvid Slur Music at Instagram, DAHVID MUSIC. You know, Dahvid Slur Music, TikTok, Instagram. Yeah, that's it.
That's it. That's it. David, again, thank you for being here. Shout out to Debo again for getting, making this interview happen today. And
Bless you,
again, nothing
brother.
more than success. Nothing more than success.
Blessed love, Queen.
All right. Have a great night. Have a great night.
Same to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, with the fix, Michelle G. That was Dahvid Slur. Oh my gosh. This EP is really dope, guys. Go out and stream it. Go out and stream it. On all it's available right now on all social media platforms. It's called Give It Your All. That's the name of the EP. I'm Michelle G. I'm out the building.
Me a lover real. Non-stopping up, just second up, locking up, setting up, just give me a lover real. Non-stopping up, just second up, locking up, setting up. Sometimes love won't last for a lifetime. Sometimes one night stand. Thanks for your time. Sometimes love won't last for a lifetime. Sometimes one night, yeah. Since all the pieces are broken, love has come so far. Months turn to years since we've spoken. At times I wonder where we fell wrong. Hope you found grass greener on the other side. 'Cause I don't cry, I go shed no tears. Yes, I've learned my lessons. Loving you with all of my blessings. And I love me should I never fall. So no, I won't fight for your love. 'Cause if it's not for me, then I know. If it's for me, then shall love grow. True love never dies. Yeah, the only thing can taste time. So I won't fight.
I'm going to say no as I got represent for Michelleg G. You see, pre.
Try nation. Patriots.
Then I survive every fight. All I will live, yeah. To every human being that face a struggle. So the bad times make good times feel good. For the war make your office a peace. Rifle shot no nice in your ears strong. Flesh a drop and I never bully beef. But on the things we go through make we stronger. We never want to run from police. But the address where me come from make me right done wrong. Just to say the least. Been fighting for all of my life. Fighting so hard to survive. I put a smile on my face, but inside is a ocean of tears. Me a cry. Been fighting for all of my life. Fighting so hard to survive. Me put a smile on my face, but inside is a ocean of tears. Me a cry. I came from a place where I could have get caught up many times. So much I go on the outside, but I stay firm on my mind. I know for the dogs, them not there. I'm from a place where you not fear pressure. It's a rough this. Families that suffer. Still we never switch for the fast cash. Have my soul member vanity in all that. Look work on the bus, never call back. Table turn now, look who I call shots. It's up for yourself, enough for we can do better dog. After me never done the wrong, the wings forget a bag. Or them a go on like some my life never hard. Still you protect the good forever. Fighting all of my life. Fighting so hard to survive. I put a smile on my face, but inside is a ocean of tears. Me a cry. Been fighting for all of my life. Fighting so hard to survive. Might see a smile on my face, but inside is a ocean of tears. Me a cry. The amount of sacrifice me make I never illuminati. Remember days when me could not even afford a party. You think I know me want to put $1 million on my granny and for the days when she give me when me know she know have it. So we have to make sure everybody good alright. Mike Tyson no fight, them a fight, them a fight. It's been fighting for all of my life. Fighting so hard to survive. Me put a smile on my face, but inside is a ocean of tears. Me a cry.